Hey everybody, this is my review for Skyfall. I dedicate this video to all the Bond fans out there, my father, and my good friend Mickey, who says this is one of his favorite films. So yeah, Skyfall 2012. This is the 23rd Bond film in the official Eon series of James Bond films produced by the Broccoli family, and is kind of a tribute to all of James Bond. I mean, the first James Bond movie came out in 1962, which was called Doctor No, and this one is, wow, just 50 years in the making. Skyfall, the 23rd Bond film, and it's just sort of a passion project. It's directed by Sam Mendes, and the cinematographer of this film is Roger Deakins. For those of you who don't know, Roger Deakins is a brilliant cinematographer. I mean, his movies that he films are just gorgeous. Like, they all look really, really good. And this movie just looks immaculate. It's incredible watching the film on a 4K television, seeing the movie in all of its great colorful glory. It's bright, it's colorful, and it just really adds a lot of flavor to the film, which I really liked. So, the film itself, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was everything I wanted it to be and more. This feels a lot more like classical Bond, early Sean Connery era classical Bond, and very British. The thing I really like about the Bond franchise is that it has a lot of things that people would want to see in an action franchise like this, but also has a sense of gravitas and elegance to it. When you watch a James Bond film, there's supposed to be this sort of dignity to it that you don't see a lot of in a lot of action franchises. There are, of course, many different action franchises. You have the Rambo films, the Predator films, and of course the Mission Impossible films that are very, very famous and popular. Those are all of those are very good franchises, but one thing that they don't have is sophistication, which is not a bad thing. I mean, those movies are not meant to be sophisticated. They're meant to be more macho heavy, more energy infused, while these take a more slower approach. And what I mean by that is that it takes its time with its characters, with its story, and with its plotting. But it also just tries to have a lot of fun as well. I mean, everybody knows that James Bond is known for the gadgets, the guns, the women, of course, but sometimes you can make it even more than that. You can do something with the Bond franchise and make it more, and that's what Daniel Craig's era of Bond does. It makes it more serious, more grounded, and it's very similar to the Nolan Dark Knight Batman trilogy, because the Nolan films took the Batman character and grounded it in reality and made it something even more darker than it really could have been. They could have made it more campy like the original 1980s Batman films with Michael Keaton, but they went the darker and more realistic approach, which is exactly what Casino Royale in 2006 with Daniel Craig did for Bond. It made it more grounded, it made it more realistic, and quite frankly, just made it really awesome. And Skyfall follows that trend. Now, Skyfall is not the direct sequel to Casino Royale. That would be Quantum of Solace. And as far as that film goes, I was a little disappointed. I didn't hate it. It's not my least favorite Bond film. That would be Die Another Day, the film right before Casino Royale. That movie's awful and atrocious in every way, and it gets an F. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Skyfall. This movie it really is a lot of fun to watch. The action sequences in this film are just breathtaking. I mean, there's the opening scene alone is just worth the price of admission and worth the price of a ticket alone. I mean, just and worth buying it and at least checking it out at the very least, because there's this great, awesome foot chase in this exotic country, which is what James Bond is known for, and it takes the characters so seriously, and the action is realistic, and it's all done by stunts, and there's long, wide takes, and it's not a bunch of shaky cam garbage. It's real. It feels real, and it's visceral, and it's awesome, and I really, really do enjoy it. Now, the story of Skyfall, really interesting. You have the main villain played by Javier Bardem, who is excellent. He really is taking that old school Bond villain approach where he's being very maniacal and mischievous, but also having fun and just chewing up the scenery and doing a lot of cool things. And he's definitely one of the best parts of the movie. But what I liked about the movie also is that it really has a sense of nostalgia because it is the 50th anniversary of Bond. At that time, it was in 2012. 50 years after 1962 when the first film came out. So there's a lot of references to all the Bond films, which is cool because I've watched every single Bond film from Dr. No all the way to Quantum of Solace, which was the newest Bond at that time. And there's a lot of things that I picked up on and how the series progressed as it went along. So it started out very grounded and dark with Sean Connery, and then it went to this just like super campiness with Roger Moore, which I am a fan of, admittedly. I do find enjoyment in some of Moore's films. And then it went back to serious with Timothy Dalton, and he made two really good, solid Bond films. And then Pierce Brosnan came in and brought back that Sean Connery suave and sophistication. And then you have Daniel Craig, which takes the Timothy Dalton approach and makes it more dark. And in this movie, it works very nicely. They do some really cool things with MI6, the agency that Bond works for, especially with his boss, M, played by Judi Dench, who is my favorite actor slash actress playing the character of M, Bond's boss. And they do a lot of things with the characters that are really interesting and do something that I never would have thought a Bond film would ever do. It takes risks, and it is wacky and weird, especially in the third act where it takes some things. And I really did appreciate that. The film just does a great job of taking you. It's almost like a roller coaster ride, where you're going on one way and then you're being thrust into this other moment, and it really is enthralling and a lot of fun to watch. And I do recommend the film. For me, it gets a not quite perfect score because, as for issues with the film, it can feel a bit too nostalgic, and there are some things where it feels like this is now James Bond. Those other two films with Daniel Craig weren't necessarily James Bond, but now we're doing James Bond, and excuse me, that kind of I took some issue with that because I really do enjoy Casino Royale. It's my favorite Bond movie so far, even after watching Skyfall. It's hard to tell where I would rank Skyfall, though. It's definitely below Casino Royale, but I don't know where. I don't know if I like it more than From Russia with Love or any of the other Bond films that I really enjoy, like GoldenEye. I don't know. I might have to watch it again because I don't know. I really want to watch it again. It's a great movie, and I do recommend it. And I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. I do love the film. If maybe the second watch I'll get it to a perfect 10 out of 10, A plus. But right now it's at an A. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please check the film out, and I'll see you later.